Good morning. Today is October the 2nd. It is definitely more autumny out there. The colors are starting to come in. It's a little bit cooler. The plan today, we are in the Green Mountains. We are going to try to get to that pond in New Manitou today. That is our plan. And this is the time of year when things seem to be more active, so hopefully we'll have some luck that way too. We're going to get going, so let's see what happens. Okay, we are here. We are towards the far side of the New Manitou First Pond and into the underbrush. I'm already cut up thanks to the grabber bushes and their cohorts. So, conditions today, it's about I don't know, probably upper 50s. May hit the lower 60s, but I don't recall the weather forecast saying it was going to do that. It's cooler, so it's good. I'm hoping that it being a little later in the season, the vegetation is going to be a little thinner in here, so I can actually make some better progress. I have, through other forays into this mess, kind of found where I think the large meadow that leads to the pond that has eluded me goes. Deer tracks in the embedded part. We're going to do a quick sweep for tracks, as I have found them potentially in here before. Not this year though, so for those that would like a nice sweep of the fall colors, they're beginning here. You got some reds and oranges over there that are rather pretty. I already took some pictures of that. I'll be posting them to social media later. The thing is, when you look in here, the thing of it is, the bitch of it is, the pond is probably only a couple hundred yards over that way, but it gets thick very quickly. It really does. And that makes getting in there much more difficult than one would think. So we're gonna make our best effort to get in there. I've had enough success traversing some of this that you follow the stream in. That's not the hardest thing to do, and then there's a point where it cuts to the right, and that is where you sort of intersect with the with where I think the pond and the meadow intersect. I'm going to descend into the meadow and then see if it does do what I suspect it does, and we'll react accordingly from there. Pardon me if I'm distracted. I'm walking through the muddy parts now where I found tracks before. I also have to remember I've walked through here not so long ago either, so something biggy looking, if it's like the exact size of my foot, it likely is. Unless you see toes, I didn't walk through barefoot. So let's figure our easiest point of entry here. We're going to follow the stream in. I may take a segment break to kind of line up with the stream and see what the conditions are for. I don't actually want to get my feet soaking wet because it is cooler today. I can hear the stream for here, so I figure as long as I can keep relatively parallel to it within 30 feet or so, I should be able to do this without too much craziness, and hopefully, like I said, the undergrowth isn't so crazy. with some of the leaves down. I just have to align to the stream a little better. And hopefully I'm not going to be subjected to grabber bushes the whole way through, because that will get old very quickly. So going through this, I am going to take a segment break. The point of defeating this has basically been you run into downed limbs and things, and you end up having to go in less than a straight line, and your direction gets messed up. So staying close to the stream is the key here, and I'm already running into resistance. I'm going to take a segment break and navigate some of this loveliness. I don't know how thick that looks on camera, but it's thick enough to be a pain in the ass as I'm there to avoid stepping in moose poo. We continue over. I'm going to cut around this and then we'll make my way over there, I think, though. I will be back in a few. Okay, we're back. We've covered a bit of distance. We are in the stream bed. And we are basically at the foot of what I believe is the meadow. I was right in hoping that the nature of the traverse is a little bit better with some of the terrain being alleviated of undergrowth, and we can actually see a little bit further in. So I was able to navigate a little bit easier without getting my feet soaked, which is a plus. If it's 60 degrees at all, that's as warm as it's going to get today, and that would be higher than they had stated. The prospect for Vermont today was basically in the low 50s or high 40s, so it's not exactly balmy. I'm just trying to find a path of least resistance I'm thinking over and around this. What I'm thinking is, if we go up here and get to the meadow, the pond is somewhere. I'm just trying to find a way through the trees, not so thick. Probably right around the corner. Should that prove incorrect, there will probably be cursing. That's not easier at all, but I can go over here and there. Okay. Never mind. A little further. I can jump here and get around this big piece of bark and get into this system over here. And for those wondering if I'm going to get lost, I am still parallel to the stream I took in here by less than 200 yards directly behind me. So we're not that far off the mark where we wanted to be. If I can just get through these goddamn pine trees, get a bearing over the hill here. I'm going to break a rule and go under that. Because in my Forest Ninja-ly, it's a little hole that you can bop through and get to a more clear area and see where you're going, which is kind of what I want. And then we can, I think this big opening here is the beginning of the meadow. So that's going to put the pond, if I'm right, over in that direction somewhere. But I want to do this from a known point I've sort of been to before. If I can get around all this lovely eye poker crap without taking another poke to the eye. So as long as I can still hear the water running, we're good. Well, I'm going to get to the top of the hill here and take a slight segment break, only to kind of orient myself to the area, make sure I am where I think I am. I'll be back in a few. Okay, my next mission is to find the smoothest way down to the opening, which is not as even ground as it looks. Kind of the opposite of that, but made worse by my favorite bushes blocking and obscuring vision. So That looks like a rapid decline. Let me think here for a minute. If I can avoid going over the tree and pop through here, that would be easier. But there's a grabber bush right there waiting to be my friend. I'm going to step on you. I hope that hurts. Shin-a-brazing bastard. And they attempt to trip me. Okay, so we're probably... Do I hate you bastards? Goddamn, do I hate you so very much. When we get through this patch, it looks like I'll link back up with the stream bed and that. Or another stream. Okay, you know what? Asshole. Take that. Sorry about the sudden turbulence caused by the... Okay, this goes right in there. Getting out is going to suck, but all right. A little muddy and swampy, but we're just over the hill from where that is. So the way back is more or less that way. The way forward, to be determined. I think we're on the... Is this the meadow, the pond, or none of the above? If it's none of the above, I'm going to be deeply irritated. All right, let's get down to that little clearing there, and then we can look out and make a better call. For obvious reasons of where I am relative to knowing where I am, I'm going to err on the side of caution if need be, but let's... This lovely swampy shit is actually hopeful that we are near one of the two. The pond or the... Get around here and have a look out into this. I think that will tell me what I'm on the cusp of. Because it does open up. So I found one of the two, I think. I just need to kind of judge as I go how swampy or if I'm going to sink into this stuff or not. I think I came up behind one of the two. Oh, fuck. Here we go. Where am I on dry land in here? It only gets better. So, what I'm going to do, if I can get over to that dirt bowl over here, if I can get over this and around, I can get to higher ground and see what that opens up into. If it opens up to anything. This may be nothing, actually, now that I look at it. All right, let's watch me balance my act over here to this little tree island thing. And then, with any... Is that going to hold my weight? If my whole theory has been wrong, I am going to be unhappy. I mean, this is still an adventure, don't get me wrong. But let's see if I can get up. Is this thing going to hold my weight? Because over there, yeah, it's a big lot of nothing. That is not the meadow, that is not the pond. So I need to we can get back to the stream. That's not the point. Son of a monkey. If I could get the drone up in here, that would be most helpful. But as you can see, oh, let me show you so I don't fall on my ass on a pretty slope thing here. That's really not going to be easy. I didn't want to do that. I am going to take a segment break real quick and climb back down so I don't kill my... Okay, we're back on the ground. I'm going to get my feet over here towards what I'm hoping is drier ground. Not so far though. And it doesn't really look like it gets any better. All right, never mind. Suck it up. I wanted to see what's up over there, but I don't know that that's really going to avail me anything. So we're just going to get back to dryish land where ironically my favorite grabber bushes are. This stuff kind of sucks. Let's get out of this and back onto at least dry land, and then kind of fall back and punt. So let's see. Well, I still have a basic sense of direction, and I get off the swamp bedding over here. I get back up there. Is there something over that direction? Because thing is, that's not the meadow. And when you're following the stream, you find out the hard way. The stream does not go in a straight line, even though it doesn't really cover a great amount of distance. I'm not where I thought it was. Son of a bitch. Fuck you so much. When I went back to the stream, there was a place, if you fall back and start heading back the other way, there was a spot that opened up. I think, going to try that gambit as I make my way back towards the stream bed over this thing. And we'll see if that works out. Otherwise, New Manitou is 3 and Kevin is 0. Oh, that was fun. So for those who don't know, Kevin is actually my first name. I go by Mike online. It's just something that's been kind of took form years ago, and that's how people know me, so that's how that works. There are those that try to make it into an alias or something. I'll cover that another day. I may have already covered it to some degree, but it's not worth getting into beyond the point. All right, we're back at the muddy divide here. And then back up over that hill. And that will get me back to the first stream, to the stream that leads me in and out. If I can maintain enough balance. Or am I just gonna hop this and get wet? That might just be the easiest way. I'm gonna shuffle through this crap. And get you to the side. Nothing is the joy of having no less than 10 of those damn things pulling at you at once. Not a fan. So let's see. Before I go, I'm going to go up over here. See if there's a vantage point to be had real quick. Since I am this far in. And that was the mission for the day. Damn it. I'm getting a little bored with being jostled about, though. Thing is, that doesn't go anywhere. So I'm not going to do that. For the record, this is what we just came through. Still lovely and thick. And let's try to make our way back. I know it's over there, and I know that opens up to that, but I'm going to try the first gambit, which is the, there's no good way through here, which is the first opening that I didn't think was anything. But first I'm going to try to navigate this between this hole, between these two trees here without, Jesus Christ. Can this approach suck any more than it does? I'm going to ask in advance that you not mind the cursing, because it's going to be there. Good God, these things are self-insistent. Burn in hell, every one of you. Okay. So the story behind this situation, at least a year or 2 years ago, I believe the family unit was in here. Now, if they could actually navigate this stuff without killing themselves, they could hide in here for a very long time. I think I've made a case for that. And if you actually ran into one in here and it took off running, your chance of pursuit is zero. Absolutely bleeping zero. That just wouldn't happen. I can hear the water. I just have to angle to it. I definitely went under this thing before. Okay. The camera will behave itself. I know it's getting beaten on in the underbrush, but still, stay with me, little guy. Yep, this is where he jumped the stream bed. And let me get over this thing. Oh, I hate. That was fun. Okay. Nothing like sinking your foot into the mud. What was that, about ankle deep? I guess I've done worse. Anywho. For those of you who wonder why I'm not being braver, then couple of things. First, you have to take into account the nature of how early it's going to get dark, and getting turned around in here in the dark would not be fun at all. And two, I mean, if I'm being perfectly honest, if I got turned around here in the dark, I would find a place to just kind of curl up and grab some sleep and wait for the sun to come up, because that would really be your best shot. Because if you were trying to stumble around in the stuff in the dark, you would get more lost than you were. And I would rather have a sense of direction where I left off and wait for the sun to come up so you can do it in the daylight, because doing it in the dark would be a complete beast. All right, here we are. Just to make the point, I thought I was heading in that direction towards the stream, which technically isn't wrong, but where I came in is over here. So already I was going off course. So what we're going to do is hook up with the stream again and start working our way backwards, and make the attempt to find that other opening and see what's in there, if that's possible. And we will take things from there, because the killer is the pond is not far away. Because over here, if you look up, I said look up. Look up. Thank you. You can see the clearing over there. It looks like more than it is, though. It's actually not really much of anything. So far today, the joke is on me. But we're back at the stream, so we know where we are. That's a plus. So for anyone asking, as far as orientating and the odds of my getting lost in here at the moment, I basically know where I am. And this is the way out. We're going to see if I'm right about that second opening, or what. Technically it'd be the first opening, but when it comes to finding this damn pond, it's like it is literally like the friggin' Bermuda Triangle in here, which is incredibly vexing. Incredibly, incredibly vexing. So if I don't find it today, and it's looking a little bit dimmer than it did when I first came in here, I thought I had a better plan than I did. If at all possible, and I can get in here in April when you have like next to no leaves on the trees yet, and you can actually see where you're going, that is going to prove to be your best window of opportunity, because once the undergrowth gets in here, it's incredibly thick and really not fun to get into. So I find myself wondering if that's it over there, right ahead of me. But I mean, you have a line of sight, and actually I could use, you got these two down trees right here that are kind of like navigational barriers, or not barrier, well, it's a barrier if you're trying to get around it, but you can use it as, to kind of use it as a, almost like a compass point. I might do that. Let's take a slight walk in here. I may have done this last time I was here too, but let's repeat the exercise and trample some grabber bushes and let them exercise their grabbing. Bastards. Hate these things so much. Let's see, because My gut feeling right now, we're going to walk over here as far as we can walk in a relatively open area and see if it does open up more. So for navigational purposes, there may be something up the hill there. The stream's right here, so we're not wandering that far off base. So again, so long as I can hear the stream, I can kind of use audio acuity too. So the question is, how steep is that and where does that go? Because if that was the meadow, then the pond should be like right up in this way. But I swear to God, this area is like the Bermuda Triangle hiding that damn pond. It is deeply annoying. Leaving the question, is it worth the climb? If it's going to end up being nothing, because I have to go through all this crap again. Let's see where. Kind of pace ourselves and kind of wrestle with that lovely branch. So my assessment is it goes up a hill and it goes up another hill, and what you're just seeing is the upward angle of the treetops. What I'm going to do stupidly is go up here because that gives me a higher vantage point without being too crazy. And if I see anything interesting there, I will continue. If I don't, then I think New Manitow has kicked my ass yet again as far as hiding what I was looking for. Because I really don't think it's more than... Okay, so we go here, and what we have is more hill. And you go over the next hill, and you're going to come to a point where you don't hear the stream anymore. You can probably backtrack it, but if there's no goddamn pond over there, you are just wandering off into the woods. And I don't think that lovely bug just flew right in my eye. I don't want to be a 411 statistic. So allowing for the possibility there's yet another opening, we're going to continue our strategy, use the stream, fall back and punt, and see what we can do. Navigational note. The wind overhead is masking the sound of the water. Another reason to keep things by the numbers. You know right now, generally the direction it's in being like right here. But, all right, so we go up and around that, and how are we doing on battery? We have it's amazing how big the video files these things make are. I've gotten to a constant battle on my computer now where I actually have to clean up after myself every time I make a new video because I run out of space due to file size. You have to be careful right there. It seems like there might be sinkholes here. Kind of an awkward place to get stuck in the mud. Yeah, that goes over a hill, and I don't really know if that goes anywhere. And if it does, I'm going to bet bottom dollar that I probably, if I got more adventurous in the undergrowth, could probably find an easier way in that I hadn't considered before. But in the meantime, let me get around here. I might take another segment break just because I need kind of both hands to navigate some of this. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a segment break here. Okay, we're back. I was trying out machete in through the woods. It came out okay, but hackles are up because there is something in the undergrowth with me, and it started with a vocalization that I don't recognize, and it was definitely something sizable and on the ground within 100 feet. It is currently, I think, in there somewhere. So we're going to make our way back and see if I'm followed by anything. That's really the best I can do. I'm not going to trip around in here. Within the last month, I have seen a bear. Not here, it was actually on the trail crossing over, but I don't want to run into one at point blank range in here per se. Only because there's a good chance I might spook it and provoke an aggressive reaction out of it, which I would rather avoid. I did a vocal in the woods too. I didn't get any response. It might have moved off. I don't really know what it was. All I'm hearing now is birds, but yeah, there is in the general vicinity, something in here. That's why I initially put the camera away, because when you're distracted by it, you do stupid things in the undergrowth, like get jabbed in the gut with a freaking big bunch of sticks. I already have my prerequisite scrapes from there. I'm more or less at the tree line of the first pond, so we made it back alive. I did explore the, well, you were on camera for that, but it didn't seem to go anywhere. I'm looking over there, and I am seeing the potential for an opening, so I am, because I have a tree line. Hold on, let me get out of these damn grabber bushes so I can actually concentrate. This is where that tree line is. If I step over this way, there may or may not be something over this way, and that's not that far, so we're going to try that. And if it is something, it's maybe a couple 100 feet. Let's kind of gauge. This could also very likely be what I call a clearing mirage, where it just looks like something when it's just more trees. But if it is, that that damn pond's got to be in here somewhere. Or is it the siren song of these charming bushes that like to grab my shins? I should have kept out the machete. Oh well. I'm also going to be careful because, again, there is something in the undergrowth, I think. It did move off, but I've suddenly switched back too, so you don't know what that does to put you. So the question is, because here you can see it gets all thick again. And the tree line being that way, the drone normally to get to the pond I'm already falling into the same trap. I'm trying to, because when you look over that way, that's that's actually the meadow that's over there that we were already at. So I'm not going to fall for it. No, I don't want to let go of my feet. This is the joy of New Manitowoc. It's virtually at the cusp of getting out, and I allow myself to get pulled back in, and I'm almost going to guarantee you there's nothing over there. Oh, you bastard. I hate you so much. Excuse me. And at this point, I can see the path to salvation getting me out of here, so. I had formulated a schedule for research, kind of predicated on the idea that I would have found that freaking pond, but even this late in the season, the territory is just so freaking overgrown in here. You cannot go in a straight line. Even now I'm zigzagging to get around the undergrowth in this area. As best I try to go in a straight line. Easier said than done. So even this, you end up like in this crap. And you have to stop and assess that you don't fall down because you have plenty of these. Son of a bitch. Ah! And then you wonder how my boots get all chewed up. Annoying. All right, let's get out of the wood line. I've had enough of the wood line. Let's just get back to pondy stuff. And I have one more little thing jab me in the shin. I'm going to get very grumpy. Okay. Much better. This is where we began. I'll be damned if I know where that pond is. That really irritates the crap out of me. But so the temptation is that, let me line up the shot here. You can kind of line up that way and go straight in. It looks like there's an opening in there, but when I fly the drone, let me angle the drone. The pond takes you in this direction, not that direction, so it's over that way. But I'll be damned if I know where. This is one of those things where I think you actually have to commit to like base camping at the very least at one of the inns in town, and you hit this thing 1, 2, 3 days in a row, fine-tuning your efforts each day, and you might find this freaking pond. That depression, whatever it was that I thought I found that was the meadow, is not the meadow. The meadow on the map opens up into this big wide space. That was all undergrowth and half sunken trees in that swampy, mossy whatnot. So that is not it. So the quintessential moose tracks are here. God forbid you have some big barefoot looking thing, but all right. But we're going to get over here and do a sky pop to, again, orient myself direction-wise if the wind isn't too crazy. I wouldn't attempt it with a Mini because the Mini would get jostled too much. Don't get me wrong, it's a wonderful drone on a day when you don't have a lot of wind and you can get it up in the air and cover a lot of ground. I actually have had it up in here, I think. And it's faster than the Spark when it's not in sport. The trouble with the Spark in sport mode is it uses up its battery quick. So if you're out against the wind and you have to fight the wind and come back, that's where you can get bit in the derriere for that. And as it was last week, last week, 2 weeks ago, when I was camping out, the drone, it was foggy out, the drone wanted to land on the fog. What that amounts to is it's misreading the fog as like solid ground, and it wants to cut the engines at 200 feet. Don't do that. Not if you like your drone. So from facing here to get to the pond, I generally have to fly in that direction. So I was coming from over there. So it's a conundrum. A very annoying conundrum. And deer bedding down right there, or was. So I am a little irritated. I don't really have to freaking do the pop-up from here because I have enough previous ones. I can just use those. I think I'm going to save it for where we're going to have better footage where it's less windy. In fact, the one, I actually have one from about 2 or 3 weeks, or how long? I want to say in the last couple of weeks. I'm misplacing time in my head, but it's actually a place where I was, I had posted up I can just go to that one. I'll judge off of that one. I'm going to save the drone for further out when I get back to the trail. Anyway, we're going to take a segment break here to save on battery, and we will pick up in a bit.